We have 6 sub $200 T-styles. We're going to compare them, and at the end, I'll try and decide what my favourite is, I think. This week, it was a challenge. It was a challenge. And that's my fingers. When I'm playing, they all get a bit fidgety and they keep doing that. And I wish they wouldn't. I wish they'd calm down. I mean, it's not really the best way to demonstrate a guitar, is it? You know. The fazley. Let's get my knob out of the way. It feels the cheapest. I've got to say this because that's what I think. That said, this guitar's really got attitude. That's how I'm describing it. The Squier's got a little bit of something. These are hairy. They sound perfectly good, these guitars. That's my review. They all sound perfectly good. Buy one. Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So this week we're finally going to get stuck in to this budget T-style Shootout. I've been promising forever. About a year actually, since I bought the first one, I think. Jet was the first one I bought about a year ago. And I've been saying, oh, I'll get a couple more and then we'll do a comparison, you know. And then I keep buying another one. I've got 6 now. I can't get any more on the bench here or on the thumbnail. So I thought, let's do this. And then maybe we'll buy some more and do another one later. But here we have 6 sub $200 T-styles. I think the most expensive one, 179 English pounds. The cheapest one was about 90 English pounds, I think it was. And they're all wonderful. They've all been reviewed on the channel. So if you want to look at the individual reviews, all in the description box, go and check that out. Today, it'll be more about playing them and seeing how they feel, talking about how they feel and appeal, you know, visually, emotionally perhaps. And we'll scratch the surface a little bit. We'll have some weights and measures, you know, just sort of, you know, get a little bit, well, there'll be quite a lot of nerdy detail. So get your reading glasses because, yeah, there's a lot of data to come in this. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to compare them, and at the end, I'll talk and I'll see. Well, I'll see. I mean, I'll try and decide what my favourite is. I think. Yeah, I'll try. No promises, because they're all. I know I had fun reviewing them all. Anyway, let's do it. Timestamps are in the description box if you want to skip forward to any particular chapters. That's what they are, isn't it? You know, if you want to hear what the East Coast sounds like, or if you want to see what the neck on the Harley Benton's like, you can, because all the info's there. All the chapters are there. If you've got a little bit of time on your hands, go and put the kettle on. Make yourself a nice cup of tea, get some nibbles, and come back and join us. And let's chill out and, yeah, throw some guitars around. Yeah, let's do it. So let's start with the lineup. First off, it's the Jet. This is the JT300. It's pink, and it cost 159 English pounds. Then I got myself the Harley Benton. This is the TE62 in a sparkly blue colour. 133 pounds in today's money. Then I got myself an antiquity. This is the TL1. It's the PMT own brand in the UK. 179 pounds, most expensive one here. And this is Fosewood, I called it, rosewood. And then another own brand, the East Coast T1. This is the own brand of Anderton's and Guitar in the UK. Look at that, nice colour, isn't it? 99 pounds. I can hardly believe it. And then we got the Fazley. This is the Bax Music own brand. This is the Coyote Basic. I think it's the cheapest, around about 100 quid. They vary. I think I paid 90 quid for it. It's all right, isn't it? I'm not sure what that colour is though. And then of course, we had to get the Squier, didn't we? This is the Squier Sonic, £149 in the UK. Torino Red. It's a looker, isn't it? Okay, let's start hearing them and looking at some specs. We'll start with the Jet. This has got a basswood body, and this one weighs in at £7 3 ounces, which is 3.27 kilos. It's got a roasted maple neck, this, that feels really nice, and apparently a rosewood fingerboard. Great fret job on this. That's what the headstock looks like. And these are die-cast tuners. Other thing you'll notice about this, it's not a string-through body, top loading only, traditional ashtray style, 60s style bridge. All of these are standard layout, 2 single coils, 1 volume, 1 tone, 3-way switch. Now the Harley Benton is also a basswood body, and it actually weighs exactly the same as the Jet. It's £7 3 ounces or 3.27 kilos. This is a string through, this one, as you can see. Same type of traditional ashtray bridge, 60s style saddles. Also the neck on this is roasted maple, although you can see this has got a skunk stripe on it. It's got a laurel fingerboard. That's what the headstock's like. The tuners, these are the vintage Clusen style tuners. And if I recall from the review, although they're split posts, there's no hole to poke the string in for some reason. And the Antiquity, this is a poplar body, and this one weighs in at £7 7 ounces or 3.39 kilos. It's a string through, and this has got the more modern style intonatable T-style bridge, not the ashtray. The neck on this, I believe it's a maple neck, it's not a rosewood neck, and it's not a rosewood fingerboard either, it's laurel fingerboard. Fret job, as I think there might be one exception, but fret job on this one's fine. That's what the headstock looks like. It's got the die-cast tuners. The East Coast T1, again, has got a poplar body, string through. And this has got the traditional ashtray style bridge, again, the 60s style. Looks very similar to those others, doesn't it? It's got a maple neck, and this one has got a rosewood fingerboard, again, with a nice fret job. That's what the headstock looks like. And it's got these same die-cast tuners. This one weighs in at £7 2 ounces, 3.24 kilos. And the Fazley Coyote Basic. Alder body this, yeah, an alder body. Again, it's not a string through though. It's top loading only with the more modern style intonatable bridge. It's got a maple neck and actually it has got a rosewood fingerboard. The fret job on this is it stood out as being not quite as good as the others. There was no major issues, but there were scruffiness. There was scruffiness, yeah. Now this one weighs in at £6.11 which is just over 3 kilos. That's what the headstock looks like. And it's got the die-cast tuners. That's the Fazley. And last but by no means least, the Squier Sonic. It's got a poplar body. It's a top loader. There you go, it's a top loader, not a string through, more modern style, multifunctional, intonatable, that's the word I'm looking for, bridge. It's got a maple neck and a laurel fingerboard on this and a decent enough fret job. That's what the Telecaster style headstock looks like, and it's got the same type of die-cast tuners. Now this one weighs in £7.10, which is 3.47 kilos. Nerdy data now, you better get your reading glasses. I'm going to try and put this on the screen so that you can reference it. Let's look at the neck profiles and measurements side by side first. We're going to have to do, because there's 6 guitars here, I can't get it all on at once. So we'll do first fret first, nut, width at nut, and depth at first fret. Here you see, they're all broadly similar. They're all broadly similar. There are minor differences. I'm not sure if the neck size on these is going to inform your buying decision at all. Same, down at the 12th fret, as you can see, they're all much of a muchness. Now, overall, I reckon the Harley Benton has got the fattest neck, but it ain't by much. And the East Coast has got the thinnest, but it ain't by much. So we'll talk about feel in a bit. Clean comparison. All guitars fully cranked, fairly gentle picking, like this. We'll go through the lot. Interesting. You can hear the differences. Well, I can in here anyway. You might not be able to by the time it comes through the YouTube, but I can hear differences. A couple of them more pokey. The Harley Benton is the pokiest for sure. You can hear the differences and you can feel the differences. It's surprising really, because you'd expect these guitars to all feel the same, but they don't. Yeah, it's interesting, really. And you suddenly pick one up and it's like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. There's no pedal on that at the moment, that's just... It's got a bit of hair already, isn't it? And in the neck. It's nice. The neck feels comfortable. It's got that sort of matte, satin, matte. It's got a Squier finish, you know. They're just kind of nice handful. I think I said this might be the fattest of the lot. So we're going backwards through them now. The Fazley. Again, it's got no pedals. And in the neck. Neck feels similar to the Squier there. Yeah, similar feel. Satiny matte. Feels a bit shallower. I've got a feeling this has got a flatter radius board. I think it's a 14-inch radius on this. And this is the one with the fret jobs not as good. You can feel sharp edges along there. And I think if you check out the review of this, I think I did some close-ups where there was a bit of gunk on the fingerboard, but apart from that, it does the job. The East Coast. So Anderton's and Guitar house brand. I'd say you can hear slightly less output on this, but it's got more of a chime to it, isn't it, as a result of that. That's quite nice. The neck. Of a woolliness to it, that I think you need that. You need to add a little bit of something to wake that up a bit. I'm going to jump straight to the Jet now because I think the pickups are the same on these two. Neck. They look the same. Here's a shot of the Jet bridge pickup. And here's the East Coast pickup. Look, they look the same, don't they? All the others look different to each other. I'll show you. I might as well show you now. Harley Benton, this is what the Harley Benton bridge pickup looks like. This is what the Antiquity bridge pickup looks like. This is what the Fazley bridge pickup looks like. And this is what the Squier bridge pickup looks like. And here again, here's the East Coast, and here is the Jet. I reckon they're the same. So maybe they're made in the same factory, I don't know. Back to the sounds, this is the Antiquity. got a bit of hair, hasn't it, already? It's got a nice sound, this. Neck feels very, very slippery. Very slippery, yeah, I suppose that's a good way of describing it, really. It's got this finish. Very, very, very satiny, that one. Feels nice. The Harley Benton, I reckon it's the pokiest of the lot. There you go. More of that coming up, and it may or may not involve all 6 guitars. It's been a challenge this week. I'll be honest with you, it's been a challenge. I don't know if you can imagine how difficult it is from where I'm sitting, with the cameras rolling. I talk about this a lot. It's quite difficult demonstrating guitars. It's quite difficult playing on the hoof something that's, you know, half decent. And I know when I talk about this, I get some great feedback, you know, and I get a lot of support, and I appreciate the support that you all give me. It's quite overwhelming sometimes, because, you know, I'm all right. I can play okay, better than some, not as good as others. Like us all, you know, there's always someone better than you, isn't there? And there's always someone worse than you. So we should just embrace what we can do. And I do try and do that. But there's a certain amount of pressure in you know, from where I'm sitting, to deliver something that I think's impressive. And I rarely achieve that. This week, it was a challenge. We started off this week in the film with another bit of bluesy bollocks, as I like to call it. Whereas I went back to my default position, because it's easy to jam over. It doesn't always sound good. Sometimes it does. That wasn't my intention. I had a bigger plan. I had a great plan. What I do is I come in to these recordings with an idea that I've been working on maybe at home, an idea of something that I think, well, that'll work great this week. So this week's big idea was Tom Petty, Running Down a Dream. And I thought, oh no, I'll do that opening riff at the beginning on all of the guitars, and that'll sound good, and it will show them off and stuff like that. It was rubbish, honestly. It didn't work. It just didn't work. So I canned that. Unfortunately, when I was recording, I thought, oh, I'll do a bit of blues. That might come in handy. Yeah, luckily I did. So I think I managed to salvage the film. But you know, it's all this like that, isn't it? I mean, it's not really the best way to demonstrate a guitar, is it? You know, that's like, well, I call it some vitus fingers. I don't know why I call it that. Some vitus dance is a thing, isn't it? When you're a little bit fidgety, and that's my fingers. When I'm playing, they all get a bit fidgety and they keep doing that. And I wish they fucking wouldn't. I wish they'd calm down and just be a bit more B.B. King, really. You know, just calm down. Too much Joe Bonamassa going on there without the talent. So anyway, yeah, I hopefully I managed to demonstrate what the guitars sound like in some positions, and that's the other thing as well. I mean, you can't go through the different settings on the guitars when you're trying to demo. I can't say, oh look, this is the East Coast on half volume on the neck pickup, because you'd just never be able to do it, would you? So it's full up. It's full up. Well, I've gone all northern. It's full up, bridge, fully cranked, neck fully cranked. If I remember to do them all in those two positions, that's 12. Yeah, that's 12 positions. Come on, give me a break. But hopefully, what we did manage to achieve is we could hear that they sounded different. They didn't all sound the same. And you kind of would expect them to. You know, because everyone says, oh, it's all about, oh, hang on. Maybe it is all about the pickups. That's interesting, because I said that I think these two are the same. And I think these two guitars sounded very similar. Whereas the others had a slightly, these two, hairy buggers. This one, a little bit more something, a little bit of something there. That's how I'm describing it. The Squier's got a little bit of something. These are hairy. These are nice and chimey. Hopefully what I have managed to demonstrate is that they all sound okay. Obviously, choose a different rig, choose a different amp, something a little bit warmer maybe. They wouldn't all sound, you know, they can sound quite spiky, I suppose is a good way to describe it, through the Princeton. You know, it's very bright. You know, you might choose something, choose a Vox or something like that, and they'd sound, well, whatever. I don't think a Vox is a good example, because they can be quite spiky as well. Choose a different amp, the guitars will sound different. They all sound perfectly good. Perfectly good. They sound perfectly good, these guitars. That's my review. They all sound perfectly good. Buy one. If this is about a shootout of these guitars, I'll be honest with you, whichever one you've got or whichever one you're thinking of getting is the winner, because they're all winners, because they're all so affordable, aren't they? And they all look great, and they all play great out of the box. I haven't, as far as I can remember, I've had some of these a while now, but I haven't done anything to any of them. I haven't had to have them set up or anything. I don't think I've adjusted the action on any of these. I may have tweaked the intonation, I can't remember. But to all intents and purposes, it's out of the box. And, oh, well, we're so lucky in this day and age that we get such great guitars for such little money. So they're all great. So if you've got one of these and you tuned in or clicked. It's click, isn't it? It's don't tune into YouTube, do you? Do you? You click. If you clicked or tuned in looking for affirmation that your Harley Benton is better than the others, or your East Coast is the daddy of cheap T-styles, well, yeah, it is. They all are. They're all great. You can't really say one's better than the other. Well, you can. You can. No, you can. I can't. I can tell you which one maybe I would go for, and you could tell me which one you prefer. It's going to be based on look, really, isn't it, and price. The East Coast being, I say the cheapest today, because I think the where's the fazley? The fazley's here under my notebook. That's listed at over £100 today. East Coast still £99. Man, you can't get past the £99 authentic, proper authentic ashtray bridge string through. You know, hard to beat. Or if you want something a little bit more, with a bit more fire in it, the Harley Benton or the Antiquity, I'd say. Harley Benton, proper ashtray bridge. Antiquity's got the more modern intonatable. more intonatable. It's easier to intonate this style bridge than it is this style bridge. That's a fact. So you might prefer that, and the Antiquity might be the one for you. What a great look of this Antiquity is, eh? The fazley. Oh, look, it's hiding behind my knob mug. Thanks, by the way, to all of you last week that bought a mug with my knob on it. They are, of course, as you might know, available here at theguitaristas.com. I had a great response last week. Thanks to all of you who bought mugs or T-shirts. I've just started doing it, as you might know, or you do now, and it makes a massive difference. If a dozen of you buy a mug or a T-shirt, wow, that makes a big old difference. So thanks. That's the address, theguitaristas.com. That's my new merchandise shop. Get over there, buy a mug with my knob on it, and support the channel. There you go. Plug over. What was I doing? The fazley. Let's get my knob out of the way. The fazley. It feels the cheapest. I've got to say this because that's what I think. It feels the cheapest. It would be the cheapest if it weren't for the East Coast. The East Coast really kind of trumps. I think the East Coast probably trumps them all in terms of what it looks like for value. Does that make sense? Because it looks really good. It's a really nice looking guitar, the East Coast, and it's got the traditional rig in it. Whereas the fazley, it looks a bit cheap. It feels a bit cheap out of the box, and this is the one where it could have done with a little bit more attention to the fretwork and fretboard. I'm also a little bit suspicious of this because the specs said alder body and rosewood fingerboard. I don't know why, but I'm a little bit suspicious that they might not be correct. But that said, this guitar's really got attitude, and actually, out of all of the reviews, and maybe even today, I might have played this one better. I might have got, it might, because of that, it might make you go, yeah, come on, show us what you can do. Maybe the runt of the litter that. Oh, look, let's get my knob mug out of the way. But so really, you can't go wrong. They're all fabulous. I'm going to tell you that the one that I would personally gravitate towards is the Squier, because, oh, and in spite of the fact that it hasn't got the ashtray style bridge, which is what I favour, but I like the look of this more. I love this colour, red with the black pick guard. I like the fact that it's licensed, if you like. It's a real one rather than a knockoff. It's Squier, made by Fender. I like that. I am a brand whore. I don't mind. Well, I do. Yeah, I'm embarrassed to admit it, actually. But I am a little bit of a brand whore. So, you know, the Squier to me is probably the one that I would favour. But it doesn't mean it's any better than any of these. They're all great. And I just wish I wish I'd had a really good week playing wise for me, you know, so that I could have gone, oh yeah, I did a real good comparison there. I got the best out of them all. I showed what they were all capable of, and I sounded impressive. And unfortunately, I don't think I did. So. Well, we'll try something else next week. And what I probably will do over the next year is carry on, because there's loads of others, isn't there? We haven't looked at the Gear for Music one, have we? We haven't looked at artists, brands people keep talking about. There's loads of others, isn't there? So one of our quests for 2025 will be buy more guitars, buy more cheap guitars, play them badly, tell you lot what they're like. So there you go. That's it. It's done. We'll move on and hope no one noticed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And check out the merch site, theguitaristas.com. Buy a mug, buy a t-shirt, support the channel. Help me buy some of these guitars next year. I'm going to do something with these. I've got an idea, a plan. Rather than sell them off, I'm thinking of donating these, except for one of them, because someone's been on at me for ages to buy it off me. But yeah. Anyway, keep alert. Keep following the channel. Come back, same time, same place next week. News, you know, I'll give you news when everything happens, if anything happens, if something happens. Come back next week. See you then. All right, cheers. Ta-ra, I'm going. Bye.